How many of you want to make an impact across the world? Raise your hand.
I choose not to be a victim.
Time is so precious.
I've always embraced my autism.
I can go on and live my life the way I want.
My life now is without
We are more
substance.
influential than we think we are. So let me ask you guys a question. How many of you want to make an impact in your family, your friends, your community, and across the world? Raise your hand. We have this mighty roar, we have this dream, we have this passion, this goal inside of us, but we feel like we don't have a reach. We feel like what we say or what we do doesn't make a difference. And so sometimes the mighty roar in us stays quiet. We are more influential than we think we are. Now, good news is, we're more influential than we think. Bad news is, we're more influential than we think, because I know there's certain days you do get out of bed, you don't want to talk to anybody, right? So how many people do you pass by in work, or at the coffee shop, or in the restaurant where you go, how are you? I'm good, how are you? And it stops. So rather than saying, hey, how was your weekend? It was good. How was yours? It was good. It was sunny out. That's great. See you later, right? What did you do? Oh, I went running. Oh my gosh, so you run. Where do you run? How much do you run? Now you start a conversation. I run too. My kids run. What do they do? What do they like to do? It doesn't have to be more than 10 or 15 seconds, but you've made a deeper connection. Take a little extra emotional energy, create that connection. So my goal is, anywhere I go, and I'm ordering coffee or Fedora or whatever, it doesn't matter, then I want to make them be smiling when I leave. I've done sales off and on for years, and my goal wasn't to get the sale, my goal was to make them laugh. And inevitably sales would come as well, but my goal was, even if they were not a fit, they can smile and leave. So next time the Fedora person comes to the door, you can, instead of being like, thank you for the food, bye, you could be like, oh my gosh, how's traffic? How you doing? Are you doing okay in the rain? Hey, can I tell you something? Has anybody ever opened up the door and they're like totally naked? Right? They're like, no. I'm like, well, come back next time. No, I'm just kidding. And if you take 15 seconds and spend a little bit of emotional energy to make that connection, what happens to the spring in the step of the next person? What happens to that little bit of influence and that little bit of smile? How do they do when they make the next phone call or submit the next order? Take a little bit of that effort to be interconnected with each other. We communicate with impact. And we do it whether we like it or not. And whether we do it positively or negatively, but there's a couple tools that help us do it positively. And you can tell a story in 6 phrases. I was a happy 5-year-old. I lost my dad. He died mysteriously. All my life, I've been looking for closure because I never had a chance to say goodbye. Somebody told me, well, maybe you should go back to Nova Scotia and say goodbye. Last July, I went back and said goodbye, and now I can move on. It doesn't have to be War and Peace. You can tell a story very fast. So be a story hoarder. Be the hero of your story. Be the person that comes into other people's stories and remind them that they're a hero. Now we're going back to being more influential than we think we are. If you treat everybody like they're the hero of their story, you treat them differently.